welcome to another edition of After the Whistle. I told you I'll be in hoodies. I'm reclaiming my hoodies. What that lady say, reclaiming my time. Well, I'm reclaiming my hoodies. And to the girl that took my Celtics hoodie, I want that back. I'm going to get it back. Todd's here.
Yeah, I don't let nobody wear my hoodies. Freeze on your own.
With his Where's Waldo shirt right here.
That's right.
All right, we got a lot going on. I mean, I forgot to mention October, Hispanic Heritage Month. Shout out to all our Hispanic brothers and sisters. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
My dad's birthday was Monday.
His dad's birthday was on Monday. The most intimidating man you'll ever meet in your life. Man of few words, but
this is true.
He stare at you, you gonna tighten up. And yeah, so we here. I mean, a lot going on in October. Pedro's back there, of course, and you know, we got to talk about the NFL, Monday Night Football. Woo, we got this whole our NFL rundown. We're gonna talk about officiating because that's been the topic. But first, Lions, Packers, Monday Night Football. Quite the game. It was quite the game. The Lions got screwed, and the Packers took advantage of the Lions getting screwed with some of those calls. But in the end, the Lions, if only they could have scored touchdowns in the red zone, because they was moving the ball easily on the Packers. They was getting to the red zone. They just kicked too many field goals. Yeah,
it was a game of field goals. But when you look at like the box scores and like the game stats and all that, you would have thought the Lions won because they was like leading in everything almost, and a couple turnovers, you know what I mean, and a couple bad decisions.
Yeah, it was one of those evenly matched games, and the Lions, for all the criticism they've get of how horrendous they've been throughout the years, this year they've actually been competitive. They've been playing well. I mean, you got to give it up to Matt Patricia. He got them playing well. Matt Stafford isn't throwing interceptions left and right like he used to. So there's a lot positives for the Lions, but my goodness, the refs, they had two hands to the face calls that wasn't hands to the face. Then they had a launching. The guy was going for the interception. He was going for the ball. It just so happened like he hit him in the head, but he was going for the ball, and they call illegal contact to the head. They got screwed.
Excuse me. I actually forgot about that one when he dipped to try to get it.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. You gotta let some of them plays go just because that's just.
He's making a play on the ball. Yeah, he's making a play on the ball.
If you're gonna call all those calls, you might as well turn this into flag. To be honest with you.
I didn't even mention that the Packers had 13 men on the field at one point, and there was no flag, none. And then there was one time the Lions had 12, and they got the flag. So 13 men, how can you miss 13 guys on the field?
You know, I always say when you give people leeway, like the challenges and all that, when you give people reasons to be able to question calls and question people, they're not going to put forth that much of they're not going to give that much focus or 100% focus. They might give you 99.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say about the box score, the thing that stuck out to me that kind of worked in Green Bay's favor was they had 170 rushing yards to the Lions 56. Yeah. And they had 9 more first downs.
And their time of possession, 33 minutes to 26 minutes. And I also forgot, there was a pass interference, a blatant pass interference that wasn't called. The guy literally grabbed the guy's shoulder and they didn't call it, and I don't get this pass interference challenge where they never overturn it. So what's the point?
But I also thought, like, with the pass interferences, I thought the refs were going to also just look into it. Like, granted, it shouldn't be like, pause the whole game. But when the instant replay comes up, the refs should be looking at that or looking at it whenever it's a close call like that.
Yeah, and then what killed me is Troy Vincent. I think he's the president of the competition committee or the Players Association or something like that. There's an NFL owners meeting going on right this week in Fort Lauderdale, and he was at the press conference, I believe, yesterday. He said on the hands to the face, the two, he said one of them they agreed with, and the other one they didn't agree with. They thought the refs got the right call. I'm like, bro, what are you watching? He ain't have his hands to his face on either of them, so what are you agreeing with? I mean, it may look like it because he put his head back, but there was nothing that said there was nothing. There was no hands to the face. So sometimes the NFL personnel people, they kind of enable the refs too, because sometimes they don't even hold them accountable. They back them up when they make wrong decisions.
It's looking real messy.
Yeah.
It's looking real messy, man.
Yeah. So it's and this game, if the Lions won this game, they would have been first place in the division, and now they're at the bottom of the division. So I mean, the ramifications of these bad calls, it's taking effect because the Lions are just a couple bad calls. They're in first place, and now they're in last place in the division. And the Packers are undefeated in the division. They're 3-0 in the division. So I mean, come on, refs, y'all costing teams games.
True.
The New England Patriots, there was a little referee issue in this. It was just one bad call, well, non-call, a pass interference on Jonathan Jones. He grabbed the Giants receivers and they didn't call it. But besides that, the Giants made it interesting for about a quarter, and then Daniel Jones went back to looking like a rookie because some of those interceptions he had, it was just like, what are you doing?
Well, I was watching the game with Justin. I was like, honestly, the way this game's going to go determines how many times he wants to throw us the ball. And he threw it to his quantum out. But I'll be honest, I enjoyed watching the game because I like watching the Giants' defense.
Yeah.
They put that pressure on Brady. Brady's first into, it came off his hand wrong, just looked wrong off the bat, and I asked Justin what was up. He goes, man, it's cold and he's old. So it was cold in that game. It just wasn't a good game for Brady, but he might need to warm up a little bit or do something.
It wasn't a good, but that defense keeps on making plays, and you can't knock them for making plays because they're one of the main reasons why the Patriots are in the position that they are in, 6-0. And hey, man, winning is winning. I don't care how it goes. As long as your quarterback doesn't mess things up or doesn't cost you points or anything, which Brady isn't. Well, this week he didn't throw no red zone interception like he did the past 2 weeks, but he did. He had those 2 rushing touchdowns. I think that's a career high for him or whatever. But the Patriots, this game I was watching, I just didn't like their play calling. Like, why is Brady throwing 41 times in the wind? It was cold. It was windy. Why is he throwing the ball 41 times? There was some possessions they had. It was just pass. And I'm just like, what do y'all got?
And that's what I meant about the whole, it's cold and he's old. Like, granted, you got to utilize your QB, but there's games where the weather conditions aren't going to work in your quarterback's favor. Run the ball. Yeah,
and it seemed like there were moments when they ran it. They were very effective, but then they'll just go back and try to dink and dunk plays, but it wasn't working. And I'm just like, yo.
And especially you're playing the Giants, you should be able to give, Michelle the ball about 30-some times just because you're playing the Giants. Yeah. And Jones is going to give us the ball.
Yeah, I think Eli was on the sideline saying, Coach, come on now, you know what I do.
Yeah, you're going to give us one too. But yeah, he might have.
No, he wouldn't. No, I'm just joking. No. But Daniel Jones, he had a QB rating of 9.2. That's not good. But he looks like a rookie. I mean, you just got to remember, he's a rookie. Granted, he had the first 2 games, he had a big splash, but you always got to come back to reality. So, the Patriots, they suspended Michael Bennett. They had philosophical reasons, differences with the head coach. That was the reason. I don't know. And I think they're bringing back Benjamin Watson because of some of the injuries they got. But, the Patriots, they come right back Monday night. They got the Jets, who got Sam Darnold back, and they look competent enough. But, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it might not be much of a game. Cleveland Browns. I asked you last week, is it time to hit the panic button on them? Or is it time to just flush them down the toilet? I've been flushed them down the toilet.
Seattle's an actual good team. And if the refs could do their job, Cleveland might have snuck one out. Let's be real.
Or if Baker Mayfield doesn't throw interceptions in the red zone, 2 of them, I believe.
But he had those intos before that call, so they were still in the game.
He did it, but after that, he was just horrible. Let's just say what it is. Baker Mayfield has been horrible this entire season, and it's not like his guys aren't getting open. They're getting open. He's just not accurate with the football. It's each interception, it was the throw was slightly behind the guy, and it comes off, and then you can't make those mistakes, especially in the red zone. And once again, Nick Chubb, we've been saying this the past 3-4 weeks, utilized Nick Chubb more, 20 carries, 122 yards. I mean, they were up 21-6 at one point in this game. Like,
I'll be honest, a team like this, you need things to come work in your favor. Because championships, not saying they're anywhere near that, but championships come with luck, health, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cleveland got to at least get some help from the refs, bro. They were playing their tails off. A blatant call, blatant, bro.
Oh, yeah,
I even knew that was a clean block, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that just took the life out of them. And then Seattle's a quality team. They're used to winning, so they knew how to capitalize on that. And Cleveland, they never won nothing, so they don't know how to cope from something like that.
Well, they don't know how to do a lot of things right, because, I mean, they're still undisciplined. They still make dumb mistakes. This time they actually got Odell the ball, but, I mean, at times when their defense needed to make a play, I thought their defense was the most consistent thing on this team, but they couldn't even make any plays. So I'm just like, hey, you guys, what do you guys... I mean, granted, they got a bye week, but it doesn't get. They're coming to New England, so it's like, good luck.
And I don't believe in a panic button with the Browns. If they suck, they just suck. It ain't no different than what they've been doing. So I don't have any buttons to press with them. I'm hoping they'll be all right, but if they suck, it ain't nothing new.
I mean, at this point, we're going into week 7. This is, I mean, at this point, you are who you are. You just you just an undisciplined team. We got, 9 penalties this game. You just undisciplined, unbalanced, erratic team, and it starts with the quarterback, and then it follows that with the head coach. The head coach, they had a chance. They scored a touchdown, but he stopped it because he challenged the play. He challenged the play. But they scored. So it was like, what are you doing? Why you even challenge? Why even bother? And then they run the same play.
Yeah, I never that first play they ran caught him off guard. That should have been the game, or
there goes points right there. It's like, come on, think. And then they lost the timeout. And at the end of I think it was in the fourth quarter, Seahawks got. I forget who caught it. DK Metcalf. He caught a big play. It was like a 3rd down or so. And he didn't catch it. But they couldn't challenge it. So it's like, quarterback, head coach got to be smarter. So the 2 question marks everybody had about this team are one of the reasons why they're losing. So they got a bye week. Maybe they could figure something out, because in their division, 8 wins might win the division. So they got a chance in their division. But at this point, you are who you are, and some of the things you do consistently will not go over. Another team that does something consistently is the Dallas Cowboys. They lose to good teams and then lose to teams they're supposed to beat. And the New York Jets put it on them in the first half. They were up 21-6. Sam Darnold, wow, what a difference a quarterback makes, huh? He came in there slinging that thing, and Dallas defense had no answer for him.
Yeah, he went 23 for 32, 338 yards, 2 TDs, 1 into, but that's normal for him just because
he's always throwing it.
He's a young QB. But Dallas, man, their 3-headed monster needs to come to play, because you're not going to do much. You got Austin as your top receiver with 5 receptions, and Cooper got 1 for 3 yards.
Yeah, he got injured and didn't return. Yeah, he didn't return.
I didn't even watch the whole game.
Yeah, he didn't return to the game. So,
but even your top receiver could have had more than 5 receptions. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Zeke, 28 carries, that is a decent amount of carries. You probably could have give him a little more and less off Dak, because Dak shouldn't throw the ball 40 times.
No.
30, 35, the most. But 40 is not for him. Granted, he didn't throw no intos, but he didn't score either.
Yeah, and like I said this before, the Cowboys are not a team that's built to come back from a big lead. If you get a big lead on them, they'll make a good run at it, but they won't win the game. And also coaching. It's fourth and goal. You could. It was. I believe the score was either 7-3. Yeah, it was 7-3 at that point. The score was 7-3. It's 4th and goal. Just kick the field goal. It'll be 7-6. Still the game's a little back and forth. They decide to go for it. They get stopped. Next play, 96-yard touchdown pass. And
we were talking, I think, yesterday. What's Garrett, the coach, right?
Yeah.
They've been talking about him being put in place in that position so Jerry Jones could kind of use him like a puppet. How long are they going to allow him to do this? At some point, you got to get somebody else in there that's not going to allow Jerry Jones to handle things. Or you got to bring Jerry Jones in, like, bro, like, can you fall back a little bit and let this guy coach or get a new coach? You know what I mean? Like, one or the other.
Yeah, and my thing with I've always said this. The Cowboys will never win a Super Bowl again if their owner keeps doing press conferences after the game like he played. I mean, they're not gonna win nothing if the owner keeps. Why is the owner doing a press conference after a game?
I don't even know 90% of owners in the NFL, so
because none of them want to be known.
Exactly. That just shows his personality. He still wants that me, bro. You played Division I football like 40 years ago. Put it down.
Put it down. No, the more shine that comes to the owner, the more attention that goes to the team, and the more other teams are gonna be like, all right. So, I mean, Jerry Jones, he need to stop doing the press conferences because it's like, bro, you're in the stands, well, you're in your booth having your like son-in-law wipe off your glasses for you and stuff like that.
And if you're gonna be an owner that's well known, that's out there, be more positive. Don't make it about you. Be more like Kraft. Make it about the organization itself.
Well,
I mean, stop being that. Stop that. We ain't talking about that. One situation, y'all cut it out. He's been around half our life. Like I was saying, be more like Kraft.
I think them two were in there together. But Jerry might snuck out the back door because he ain't, he known for that a little.
I had to remember where I was at for a second. I was at the show this at midnight.
But you gotta be like Kraft. Only talk after you win a Super Bowl or after you win a significant game, like AFC Championship game, or if the press want to ask you something that's going on concerning the league. Yeah, but just not after each game. You want to be in there talking X's and O's like you was out there playing or doing something. Nah, you was in the booth. You was in the booth drinking vodka and having with your flip phone, having your son-in-law call numbers for you and like treating him like a little puppet. I'm sorry, Jerry Jones' son-in-law. We don't mean to go at you, but geez.
Nah, man, put your foot down.
Actually, no, I'm not sorry. Come on, man, be a man.
Might be old glasses.
You right?
What the hell?
So the Cowboys and the Eagles, they got a big game coming up. We'll talk about the Eagles in a little bit. Actually, we'll talk about the Eagles right now.
Oh, I was going to say.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Eagles right now. The Philadelphia Eagles, there was some defensive players that got traded that they could have used. I mean, Marcus Peters got traded. Jalen Ramsey got traded. Eagles need defensive backs because they can't cover anybody. The Vikings just ran wild in their secondary, and I mean the Eagles' defense is their Achilles' heels. And I don't like how people are trying to make it seem the reason the Eagles are struggling is because of Carson Wentz's leadership. No, their defense can't make any stops. They can't stop. The Eagles got back into the game. They were down 24-17. Wentz led them to a touchdown to bring them down 7. You get a stop. Maybe they march down the field and score again, but their defense just couldn't make a pivotal stop.
I agree with you. I mean, I can't blame Wentz for anything. He's still on the field. So that being said, that's all I'm asking for him this year, to finish it out. But Vikings, I can't bet against the Vikings. The Vikings legit team, I think, this year. Granted, when Cousins does too much, they lose. But they got 2 losses though.
Yeah.
So but when he produces 20 for 29, 333 yards, 4 TDs, 1 into, I'll take him throwing the ball 30 or less times.
Yeah, the thing because it's just like when he has to think really hard, he goes brain dead. But when it's like everything's all right.
Well, football isn't really like a thinking sport. So sometimes it is, but it's not like basketball. You gotta think on the fly. But football, certain positions are the thinkers.
Yeah, and when it's like the tight game and stuff like that, and you're the quarterback, you have to be precise with your decision making. But yeah, Cousins, he did have a great game, and then Zach Brown, one of the guys from the Eagles, said he's the weak link on their defense, on the Vikings offense. Then he does this, and then after the game, he's like, "I'm not taking no Kirk Cousins questions. I just want to talk about the game." The dude just threw 4 touchdowns and 300 yards. They're gonna ask you about Kirk Cousins, especially when you saying he was the weak link. And you know what happened? He got cut the next day.
Ooh.
The dude got fired on his day off.
Now, was like, what
he's
year
not
was
a bad. I don't know, but he's not a bad player.
What did he get cut though? Like,
I don't know.
There was something deeper in the house.
Maybe something else.
It ain't like his personal. It probably ain't like his personal.
That's the epitome of a bad week.
Yeah, the worst week, bro.
You get fired on your day off.
Second player got fired on the day off.
We'll talk about that.
Crazy.
But yeah, it seemed like after the receivers called out Kirk Cousins, he actually got his act together and realized that, hey, I actually have good receivers, and I just have to be accurate with the football.
Diggs was balling.
Yeah, Diggs had himself a big game, and then Madison and Cook, they combined for 104 yards on the ground. Those two together, so they have a well-balanced team. These guys, if they could consistently play like this, they could end up in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
but we all know what's the question mark. We all know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But the Eagles and the Cowboys, big game this weekend in Dallas. They need a victory. Both of these teams need a win. And man, the Eagles defense, they could have used Jalen Ramsey or Marcus Peters. Or they could trade for Patrick Peterson, who, he won't be eligible to play until after week 8. But they need some defensive backs because the ones they got are sorry. Very sorry. All right. San Francisco, I think, is the best team in the NFC. They proved it once again. They really, granted, the Rams didn't have Todd Gurley, but the Rams, they just been, I don't know, they've been something else this year. They got Jalen Ramsey coming in now. They traded a couple first-round picks and a fourth-round pick for him, which was a good pickup for them. He's a great shutdown corner. Now they could do some things on defense that they weren't doing before. But man, 49ers, these guys defensively, I think that the Rams didn't convert a third or fourth down in this game, I believe.
They got manhandled the whole game, bro. Like the total yards, 49ers 331 to the Rams 157. Did I read that wrong when I wrote that down?
No, you did not.
And then San Fran had 12 more first downs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, granted, Jimmy G, he even throw for a touchdown.
Jimmy G is not messing it up.
Like, he had 243 yards, 24 for 33. Then he threw it into, but that just happens when you throw the ball a decent amount of times. But their team, their running back, Coleman was solid, but they could have used him a little more. But Kittle was out there balling late receptions for 103. Like, the overall team was just.
I've been saying they're the best team in the NFC. Just the way they've been playing in the defense. Look at this on third down conversions. LA was 0 for 9 on third down, and they were 0 for 4 on fourth down. And those fourth down were all fourth and shorts, too. 4th and 1, 4th and 2. And you could just see those guys. You could see the defensive coordinators' enthusiasm each stop. It's like these guys really are hungry. And the way they're playing, that's championship-style football. Low mistakes, run the ball, solid defense. Quarterback could make plays when he needs to make plays. Like Jimmy G doesn't even he doesn't throw that many interceptions. You never see him.
I don't really throw more.
Here and there he'll probably miss a few passes here and there, but gotta understand this guy. I don't think he's had a full year of being a starter yet.
Also, the good thing with him is you playing behind Brady. You understand how much Brady values the ball. Yeah. Granted, he does mess up. Everybody messes up, but he values the ball.
Yeah, and Jim, I think we won't be surprised at all if the 49ers are in the Super Bowl because the way they're dominating team, the way they're playing defense is
since week 1 and 2, like everybody was like, "Yo, are they this good? Or the teams they're playing this bad?" Nah, they're this good.
Yeah, that's what I was saying after. But when you see how they just manhandling people, you're just like, okay, yeah, these guys are for
what's up with Goff though?
He
only has one usually bad game, not two in the season.
He got that money and he started to decline. Like, come on, bro, you got to get it together, man.
He's 100 yards and a touchdown.
Like, yeah. Shows how much they need Todd Gurley in that offense. But one thing I will say about the 49ers, I hope this Richard Sherman thing is kind of getting annoying. This is 2 weeks in a row. He's at the press conference with that, calling out the media for not telling them to keep the same energy when everybody was saying the 49ers weren't going to be that good or how many wins they're going to get. He did that nonsense again. It's just like, bro, okay, we get it. You guys are playing. Nobody thought you guys were going to be this good. All right, you're proving everybody wrong. Like, is this going to be a reoccurring thing every week? Because if it is, you're going to lose that war if you guys don't go to the Super Bowl. Because if you don't go to the Super Bowl, then they're going to come back at you and it's going to be like,
if they can keep the ball for extra 15, 16 minutes,
They got the running game to do so.
They did that to the Rams. So that's.
Yeah. Just Richard Sherman, leave the media alone. Like it's tired. I mean, everybody gets it. You guys, nobody believed in you guys. You blah 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 blah. We get it. All right, come on now. At what point are you gonna be like, all right, let me do something different? Like, bruh. The Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Bucks went to London, and I don't know what Jameis Winston had over there in London.
I think he was set up, man. They got him throwing the ball 50-something times. Like, bro, like he been doing well the past couple weeks. Y'all set that man up for failure.
We was giving him praise and stuff about how he's not turning the ball over.
You wanna know why they set him up? Because this man Bob had 8 carries. That's how they set his ass. They set him up. Jesus.
It was bad because the first play of the game, it was an interception. The first play of the game, he threw an interception. That's when you were just like, wow. But the Panthers 4 in a row, and they didn't. Let me make sure I got this right.
The Panthers balling. Mr. Allen.
This guy is a big Kyle Allen guy.
Hey, I'm a sometimes less is more guy. Yeah, sometimes less is more.
I am. When you ask this guy to do so much and you don't see that he's hurt and you don't change the offense around. But therefore, I think they got a bye coming up.
They don't need no bye.
They do.
I mean,
McCaffrey's hurt.
Oh, yeah, he needs the bye. They need that. He only had 31 yards.
Yeah, they keyed in on him. The Buccaneers keyed in on him, but he did make one guy look stupid out there with the juke move. But this was an overall good. Well, not for Jameis. It was an overall good game. Well, it was overall good for the Panthers all around because their defense is actually started getting better because everybody was wondering how good they could be because they were just at the beginning they were giving up big plays and now they cut down the big plays and they're getting to the quarterback now too. They had a couple sacks in here, so this team. I
looked at my notes, and the last thing I wrote about this game was stats don't even matter. The Bucs had 7 turnovers. Stats don't even matter. I just realized, though, they just gave the game away. But Godwin, though, he's still balling. 10 receptions for 151 yards, man.
But you can't have 7. You're not going to win a game with 7 turnovers.
That's
at all. The only team I've seen to win a game with more than 5 turnovers was the Seahawks back in 2014 in the NFC Championship game. They had 6 turnovers. But, 7, come on.
But they set him up 54 times. They wasn't even going to start them in this season. You want him throwing 54 because he's playing well?
You know my philosophy about passing the ball more than 30 times.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. But, maybe they'll bounce back and realize they don't need to be passing 54 times with Jameis because he's.
I just don't understand. Christmas. If it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Why try to fix it?
I don't get it either.
What? Y'all been playing well.
The LA Chargers should be ashamed of themselves. They got beat by a backup quarterback from Samford University. Not Stanford, Samford. And I think that's in Alabama or something like that. I don't know where it is. But
I think it might be down south.
Yeah, it's down south. I just don't know what state. But the Chargers couldn't come out looking worse because they were down, I believe, 17-0 or at one point in this game or 24-0 and turning the ball over left and right. And it's like these guys, you're supposed to be a championship team. With championship aspirations, and this is you got a team with their third string quarterback, and you are down 21-0.
Yeah, and his defense was balling
for once.
They had, two turnovers for scores, which helped them out because that third string quarterback needs that type of help.
Yeah.
He played all right, 15 for 20, 132 yards, 1 TD, 1 expected into, just because you expect him. Honestly, they probably expected more than that. Yeah. But also, too, their rushing yards, 124 to 32.
Yeah, they got James Conner involved.
But Ian Gordon, 8 carries, 18 yards. Is he injured or something? Or?
I don't know.
Rivers throwing the ball 44 times, that whole.
Yeah, I don't know what was their game plan. They made a good run at it in the fourth quarter, scoring 17 points in the fourth quarter. But by then, you're playing catch up, and you just should never be in that position, especially with a team with a backup quarterback. It just doesn't make you look good. Now you're 2-4 on the season. Don't look. This is how they always are. They always start off slow, and then they try to make a push at the end, and then they realize some games that they should have won. They really cost them. So this was just overall bad for the Chargers. And also, we got to look at Phillip Rivers, too. He old, too. He should. Like, he like 16, 17 years in the league. Like, come on now. Or 15 or whatever.
And that's why you got to run the ball more.
Yeah.
To relieve from these guys' arms, you know what I mean? Like, so they get tired and stuff. Like, I don't know how it is to be 40-something playing quarterback and the day after the game.
Yeah.
How you feel. Like.
So, yeah, that's just a bad loss for the Chargers. I mean, it was a terrible loss. That's all I got to really say about that. I don't got much else to say about that because you can't be losing to garbage teams. Houston and Kansas City, Deshaun Watson versus Patrick Mahomes, and Deshaun Watson made a bit more plays than Patrick Mahomes did, and the Chiefs caught their second L at home back-to-back weeks. And I guess Bill O'Brien must have heard what I was saying about him because, I mean, hey, these guys, they could have easily packed it in after they were down 17-0, but they started making plays. They got a big fumble that kind of changed the game. But once again, officiating in this game, there was a play. Patrick Mahomes, and they got a free play. He believed he got a free play because the rest threw a flag for, I believe it was either pass interference or illegal contact, but it was something in the secondary. Threw a pass, it gets picked off in the end zone. The refs pick up the flag, and
awesome, like, hey, nobody see this.
They just picked up the flag and said because the pass was intercepted or stuff, they're not going to call the illegal contact. But, I mean, it's still illegal contact or defensive holding, whatever it was. That was still a penalty. Why are you picking up the flag? You just cost them a possession and a turnover. So why are you picking up the flag when the replay shows there was a penalty that happened?
Man, I can't even speak on the refs. You know, I don't even like commenting on refs for the most part. Yeah. Like, they're just a whole nother entity I don't even like battling against. But I like this game, the battle between the futures. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Granted, Mahomes he's a walking 2-3D TD guy, but that didn't get you the W. Watson played well. You know what I mean? 30 for 42, 280 yards, 1 TD. Unfortunately, 2 turnovers, but you know, like overall, honestly, it was an overall team effort because they had the ball 19 more minutes. Yeah. They were eating the clock up with Hyde with 26 carries, 116 yards for 1 TD. Then they making chances. They're winning chances on 4th down by going 2 for 3 on 4th downs. Like they were just overall.
There's another team that could have use some defense. 4th and 3, you would expect your defense just to make one play. Your offense gets the ball back. They're probably going to score, but can't even make a play on 4th and 3. Then that just ends the game. The Achilles heels to this team is their defense, and they just showed once again they couldn't make stops when they needed to.
And 2, they're relying too much on Mahomes. They only had 53 rushing yards,
and he's hurt.
Like, come on, and he's still hurt from come on.
He hurt his ankle again.
They're going to honestly hope they're not trying to cam him.
Yeah.
Because, like, you can't keep abusing your quarterback. If you know he's hurt and you lost this game, you know what I mean? You might as well just utilize the running game and see how that works out because you know you're going to win most of your games anyway.
And it's a turnaround for them because they play Denver tomorrow and they're still missing their best offensive tackle. Eric Fisher, the left tackle, pretty much protects Mahomes the best. And, you know, without him, it's shown. He's got his ankle stepped on twice and then his ankle got messed up again. So it's tough times for the Chiefs. But granted, they're 4-2 right now. They're still on top of their division. Their division isn't really that good. So they got more than enough opportunities to string together a decent amount of wins. So I won't be worried about them. Teddy Bridgewater, I think, won his third or fourth straight game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And, I mean, Breeze gets hurt and the ship keeps sailing and they're playing. Teddy Bridgewater they're playing well. Their defense, we gotta give a lot of credit to their defense because their defense has really stepped up and played consistently.
I definitely agree with you on that. But they're like the best starting and backup quarterback tandem that we've seen in a long time because it's rare that your backup is a past starter. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you're basically cheating right now. Yeah. Because he went 24-36, 240 yards, 1 TD. He's out there killing it. Yeah,
this was one of those throwback NFL games because it was definitely a defensive game. Both teams weren't giving each other the edge, and it was. I mean, it's one of those games you look ahead in like November, December, January, be like, oh, okay, I can see why this team is in the position that they are in. But hey, the mustache guy, Minshew, he didn't have his best outing. But I always keep saying he's a rookie. He's a rookie. He's still learning. But they just couldn't. The Saints weren't giving up much. They couldn't really do much. Nothing on offense that they tried worked. So it was. I mean, this one you just gotta give kudos to the defense. It's not like the offense wasn't bad. It's just like you just ran into a great defense.
Yeah, basically that's it. Because they had 100 more yards than the Jags.
Yeah.
More opportunities.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Hey, Minshew, get that mustache cut off, man. Come on, man. We're going to go to No Huddle with Craig real quick, and then we're going to come back, talk some college football, a little baseball, then we're going to go to Athletes Corner, and then we're going to wrap up the show and all that stuff.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to No Huddle here on After the Whistle. You may recognize me from my shows on Gym Bag Entertainment, which you can watch on YouTube, The Flex, The End Zone, and Tailor the Tape. But today I'm here to give you my DraftKings picks of the week. Starting off first with the QB position, I went with Daniel Jones. I like Daniel Jones a lot this week. He showed us a lot in his athleticism and his ability to move the ball down the field. I think he's going to do that against Arizona, whose defense is pretty much non-existent. For 6,100, I think that is a good price point. And actually, a steal at running back is Matt Breida, $5,300 going up against Washington Redskins. Now, Washington Redskins, they can be a little tough against the run, but San Fran is going to be so far ahead by the second half that Matt Breida is just going to be getting the ball over and over again, as will Tevin Coleman and probably Mozart as well. But I like Matt Breida the most. I think he is the most talented running back on that team. Expect him to go off in this game. I also chose Devontae Freeman. Devontae Freeman has been returning to form. He's been having good game after good game. He's getting involved in the pass game again and has been doing exceptionally well. Going up against the Rams. Rams defense has been a little tough against the run, but once again, I think they're going to be able to get it going with Devontae Freeman, and I think he's going to put up the points you need to get the victory. And then in the wide receiver position, number one overall is going to be DJ Chark. DJ Chark's going up against Cincinnati, whose defense is almost non-existent. And he has been playing amazing football. He had a tough matchup last week, didn't get the touches that you wanted him to get, but he's going to turn it around this week against, like I said, a non-existent defense in Cincinnati. Then I went with Larry Fitzgerald, who I like going up against the Giants. Defense isn't very good, and he is Kyler Murray's favorite receiver. So I think it's going to go to him early and often. He's going to get you a lot of touches. Then I went with Cooper Kupp. You know, Cooper Kupp had a down week this past week, going up against a tough defense in San Fran. But he turns it around this week, going up against Atlanta, and gives you that performance that he's been giving you all year long. Expect him to put up over 20 points for you, if not breaking the 30-point marker. He is a little bit expensive at $7,400, but you've gotten all your other players at an extreme discount. Every player you have is under $6,100 right now, so you're doing really good. In the tight end position, I went with a discounted player, and I grabbed Gerald Everett. This is kind of a risky move right here, but once again, going up against Atlanta, he's been doing quite well. I think that he returns and has another back-to-back performance for you. Golden Tate in the flex position. He had an excellent, superb game. He's back. He's true to form, and he looks like he might be Daniel Jones's favorite target. So look for him to have another repeat performance against, once again, a very torn apart Arizona defense. And then finally, when it comes to the defense, there's only two this week that you can play, and that is the Patriots. Three. You could play Buffalo. The Patriots, Buffalo, and the defense I chose, San Francisco 49ers, going up against the worst team in the NFL, Washington Redskins. And you might say, Craig, wait a minute, isn't Miami the worst defense and the worst team in the NFL? I don't know that to be true, because technically speaking, the Miami Dolphins could have beat Washington this past week, but the coach made a stupid move. So I'm going to go with the 49ers defense, and I think they take it over. I think they kick butt, and I think they get you all the points that you want this week. Sacks all day. And those are my DraftKings picks of the week. I'm Craig. Check out my shows, The Flex, The End Zone, and Tailor the Tape on Gym Bag Entertainment on on YouTube. And until then, good luck. Have a good night.
We're back. We're back. We gonna get into some college. We're gonna get into some college football right now. We're gonna show you guys the top 25 rankings, the new rankings, the AP 25, top 25, and the coaches poll. So Alabama, LSU, Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Wisconsin, Penn State, Notre Dame, Florida, Georgia. All wrap around the top 10. Georgia suffered a loss. They lost to South Carolina. I don't know. They trust in kickers. There's never a good thing, and the kicker Georgia. So their opportunities is kind of messed up right now. They're gonna have to win out if they want to make it to the playoffs. They literally have to win out because they got some tough games coming up. They got a game against Auburn. I believe they got a game against Florida. And I think they got LSU on the schedule too. No, they don't have LSU on the schedule. Okay, so they got Florida, Missouri's ranked number 22, and Auburn, which is ranked number 11. So they got 3 ranked teams. They got Kentucky. They play Kentucky this weekend, which is a pretty good, solid team. Not that great, but you never know. Right now, I think the best team in the country might be LSU. It might be LSU just because they've beaten 2 top 10 opponents already. Their schedule is pretty good, and looking at their schedule compared to Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, I'm like, some of these guys, like Clemson, if you look at their schedule, it's like they're just playing JV, and Ohio State, they really ain't playing nobody.
Yeah.
So
I like LSU. They finally got a quarterback.
Yeah.
And it took them years to get one. So now you see what happens when they finally got somebody that can sling that thing.
Yeah, I think Wisconsin and Oklahoma are in prime positions at 5 and 6 because I think Wisconsin can win out. And if they do that, win the Big Ten tournament, and maybe someone in the top 4 slips, they could slip into that top 4 and make the playoffs. So Wisconsin, they're in good position right now. But I mean, we've seen crazier things in college football. So I don't know. There's gonna be maybe this week some top ranked team is gonna lose to a team they're not supposed to lose to. But hey, it happens. All right, Major League Baseball. The Washington Nationals have they're going to the World Series for the first time since 1933. I believe that was a year before my grandmother was born. So it's been a while since baseball and the championship has been played in D.C. And this is interesting because a lot of people thought they weren't going to make it because, Bryce Harper is gone. He gone up to Philly, and it's like, what's going to happen? But, hey, kudos to them. Steven Strasburg, he had a pretty good outing for them, made a clean sweep of the St. Louis Cardinals, and hey, whatever, good. Kudos to them. And then the other series, the Yankees and the Astros are tied 2-1. The game today is postponed to tomorrow. Houston won game 2 off basically a game-winning hit by Carrera, and he did the Ellis Black flip and then shot his helmet right at home base before he got there. And then yesterday they had another solid outing against the Yankees. So this series might go six games. Houston's probably going to win it just because overall they're the better team.
Man, their pitching is crazy.
Their pitching is crazy. Their batting is crazy. Mm-hmm. But the Yankees got the craziest lineup, especially with the bats.
Yeah, they do.
With Stanton, with Judge. There was another guy I forget, but they just.
It's a bunch of them.
Yeah, they got a lot of guys who could hit home runs, but they got a lot of guys who can strike out too a lot. So, game number 4 will be tomorrow, and that is our baseball highlights. Yeah, Athletes Corner, Lynn Classical quarterback Dan Gisonno and running back Kalvin. So I talked to them yesterday. So check out Athletes Corner, and then we're gonna come back and do what we do. Welcome to Athletes Corner. We're here at Lynn Classical. I'm kind of in enemy territory. English High graduate. I'm with some Rams here. These guys been balling out the past couple of weeks. Dan, Gisonno, Kalvin. So you guys on a little winning streak right now. What's going on, fellas?
Just getting it done on the field, doing the best we can on both sides of the ball. Our defense has stepped up in a big way the past 2 weeks. That's really all we can ask for.
Yeah, definitely. Especially it started with Salem when you guys, their defense balled out, pitched that shutout out there.
We needed one. We needed that. We were coming off a couple tough ones, so we just needed to bounce back. That's really it.
Kalvin, you had a pretty good season yourself, man. You getting all these yards, 100-yard games, multiple touchdown games, man. How's it going for you? How's this season so far for you, the start that you got?
Right now it's going all right. I feel like I could be doing better. I feel like I could be pushing myself a little more, getting more yards.
Yeah.
The linemen, they've been helping me a lot, like making the holes bigger, helping me get through. Sometimes I'd mess, I wouldn't find the right holes, but then they make more. Yeah. They've been helping me a lot. I appreciate them.
Yeah. You guys had that hard start. You guys had that crazy first game against the crazy first game against Brockton. What was? Tell me a little about that game, because it was kind of. It was all you could ask for in a football game. Back and forth. You got each team answering each other, and at the end, you guys just made a little bit more plays.
We kind of just looked at that as like a statement game. We came in with a lot of new guys on the field. We just wanted to show everybody what we could really do.
Yeah, and for you, firstly, this year, playing quarterback this year, what was the transition? Was the transition hard for you, or was it a little easy?
I backed up Keith Ridley for a year. He taught me, he got me right to where I needed to be, so I walked in there pretty confident this year. I wasn't worried, wasn't too nervous.
Yeah, Kalvin, you guys lost a lot of guys last year, a lot of captains, leaders, and what is it like for you guys being the focal point of the offense and you guys kind of leading by example? This your first year starting?
Yeah, it's my first year starting. Last year, I didn't even play half the season. I quit. So coming back and it's everybody's looking at me trying to I don't know.
Was it the motivation?
It was the motivation. With the motivation of my teammates. Everybody on the team, they've been pushing me. Yeah. And that's what kept me going.
All right. Talk to me about this past game you guys had against Winthrop. What worked well for you guys so well offensively?
I would have to say running the ball, because the weather was pretty bad that night. Friday night was a little wet out there, so we had to just had to hang on to the football and just keep running the ball down the court as much as we could. And I guess it worked for us at the end of the game.
And Key, you was big with running and passing the ball. What were some of the things that you saw in their defense that you kind of saw you could take advantage of?
I want to say them. When we spread out the field, they wouldn't move with us, and we kind of took that as disrespectful. We wanted to kind of take as many shots as we could, but the weather wasn't really in our favor, so we kind of just had to adjust and do what we could out there.
Yeah. That's really it. Kalvin, the running game has been a pretty focal point of the offense. You got him running the ball, you got you running the ball. It seems like there's a good dynamic of the run pass, but it seems like when you guys decide you're going to run the ball down the team's throat, it's really effective.
It's really effective. It's been me and Danny, we've been
just moving in sync, kind of, if you want to put it like that. We just kind of been trying to get better every day and just move in sync.
All right, you guys got Gloucester coming up. They're always a tough matchup. I know their record is 0-5, but you guys are traveling up there. It's never easy going up there. But what's it going to be like to stop their running attack? Because that's one of the key things for them historically. It's always that
defense has got to come that game deep. We need that defense to step up big that game. That's all we really need. Offense has got to take care of what they got to do. We're just going to play football like we know how. That's really it.
And for both of you guys, you guys 3-2 right now. You guys got a little momentum going. So what's it going to take for you guys, just to keep the momentum going? We're coming into November, and playoffs is on the horizon, and everything's on the line coming up the next couple of weeks for you guys. So what's it going to take for you guys just to make sure you guys are in your A game?
We're going to try to keep up the same energy we got right now and make sure that none of us
no setbacks, right?
Nothing, just what he said. We got to keep getting better and better every day, bringing the same energy to practice and just go out there and want it.
Yeah.
That's really all it is.
Go out there and want it. 3-2 right now. Make sure you guys check them out. If you can't, just go up there to Gloucester, go support them, go check them out. They're trying to go make it 3 in a row. Move 4-2, just trying to secure their playoff position, because last year it was kind of some funny stuff happened that didn't get them in, so they're trying to secure it. But good luck Friday, guys. Thank you guys for coming. All right, have a good practice.
I just missed that.
All right, thank you, Kalvin and Dan, for that interview. Yeah, as they said, check them out Friday. They're up at Gloucester. You know, they're trying to position themselves in the playoffs. So, pivotal times in high school football, especially for teams that want to make it to the playoffs. I know it's been rough for DC sports. You know, the football team is kind of a hot mess. The men's basketball team, the best player, I don't know. We're not even going to talk about him. But congratulations to the Washington Mystics. They are the WNBA champions. Last year they made it to the finals and lost, but they redeemed themselves this year. These ladies, I mean, did you watch the game?
Watched some of it. I didn't catch the whole thing.
I'm over
here drawing my bad.
Yeah, this dude drawing. That was a pretty intense game. Washington was down for the most part in the game. Then they made a run in the second half, and you know, Ella Della Dawn, she did her usual thing. And what's her name? Tolliver. She gave somebody the meat as hell from damn near half court. And Natasha Cloud, they were all.
You talked about Emma.
She came off the bench and dropped 22 points.
That's the reason why they won.
He basically just like another starter.
Yeah, she can shoot that thing. That's just the main reason why they won, because it seemed like, you know what I mean, both lineups in the starting lineup, they had their scorers, but I want to say the, what's it called? Who was the Sun? Their bench didn't come to play.
No, they didn't come to play
at all.
They didn't come to play
Emma came out there and bust. I don't want to butcher her name, but it's like Messy Man or something like that. Missy Man or
something.
Yeah, Emma.
I just call her Emma. If you don't know how to pronounce her name, just call her Emma. But yeah, you're right. The Sun bench, they only produced 7 points.
But like overall, like the stats were close though, because like Mystic shot 50%, Sun 45 from 2, 21.1 from 3, 16.7 from 3. So you could just tell this game was about crucial possessions and lack of turnovers.
Lack of turnovers, and then you look at that fourth quarter, Washington outscores them 27-14, making big shots, hitting their free throws, and not turning the ball over. So it was, DC needed that. DC needed a championship team, because I think the last one that won it was the hockey team a couple of years ago. With Ovechkin.
Oh yeah, Ovechkin. Yep, you are correct. Yep. When I started the show, I started working. Yep.
All right. We got 5 minutes left, so we're gonna run through some things. The NBA versus China. This has been like the craziest story so far. I mean, LeBron made a statement yesterday, which wasn't all that helpful, but I mean, he had the right idea. He just said way too much. He just said way more than he should have. And there was an article that had, you know, when they were over there, the NBA owner, Adam Silver, was trying to get the players to go out in the press and address the situation in the press. It's like, why would you try? And basically, there was like a tug of war going on, because the players were like, no, we're not doing that, because they had no reason to be going out there and speaking on that issue. To me, LeBron should have just took, you know, what the Warriors were doing. You know, they asked Steph Curry about it. He said, Daryl Morey, he has his right to freedom of speech. I don't know too much about it. I'm not educated on it, so I can't comment. I can't really comment, which is well he should say. But Daryl Morey does have the right for his freedom of speech to supporting the rioters over there in Hong Kong, because there's some human rights violations going on. So, I mean,
yeah, you got the right to voice your opinion over here.
Yeah.
Don't go over there and start running your mouth, because you might not come back. And the NBA players, I ain't going out there either. You ain't shoot me in the face.
They should have brought them back after it was all over, because the games that they played over there wasn't televised, wasn't sponsored. They took all the sponsors down. The press couldn't even ask questions about it. I remember there was one lady that I think she asked a question about it, and it was just like they took the mic away from her. So it was just like the Chinese government over there was just showing like, y'all ain't talking about this. So it was like, why are they there anyways? Just get them out of there. They don't need to be there. Granted, you don't want to mess up your money and stuff like with China, but
it's all about the safety of your players, because your players are people and they got families. And in China, they run things differently over there.
Yeah, it's a communist country. So, but I mean, people are jumping down Daryl Morey's throat, but there was some human rights violations that's going on.
He has the right to speak.
Yeah.
You have the right to voice your opinion, but don't go in somebody else's house trying to tell them how to wash their dishes and how to wash their clothes and do stuff.
Yeah,
that's the big thing, because they don't care about how popular certain people are in the U.S. Once you in their country, abide by their rules or find the dirt. Yeah,
and you can see that a lot of these guys don't want to mess up their money because they do a lot of work over there in China. So
and they want to go home alive.
That too. It's like crazy. It's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing. There's definitely going to be more about this coming out in the near future, because this ain't over, because it's just a hot mess. But yeah, the league put their players in a terrible position. I mean, I don't know why. Hey, Daryl Morey, he spoke up. He said he's in support of the rioters and all those guys fighting for democracy and freedom. So, hey.
My whole thing is, if China actually felt what they was doing was right, they wouldn't have did all this. So they know what they're doing is kind of screwed. They know that.
Yep.
So let's be honest here.
Yeah. We got 2 minutes left. We ain't going to get into the top 10 this week. We're just going to run through these games, have our picks of the games. So we're going to start it off. Week 7, Kansas City, Denver, at Denver.
I got Kansas City.
Kansas City as well. Los Angeles at Atlanta.
I got LA.
Me too, I got LA. Miami at Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo. Jacksonville at Cincinnati.
Jacksonville.
I'm just never going to pick the Bengals, so I'm just, Minnesota at Detroit.
Minnesota.
Detroit. Oakland at Green Bay.
I'm going to take Oakland this time.
You want to take Oakland? I'm with you. I'm taking Oakland.
Yeah, man.
Houston at Indy.
Houston.
Indy. Arizona at Giants.
Giants.
Cardinals, they've been playing well. 49ers at the team in Washington.
49ers.
Yeah, 49ers. Chargers at Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Chargers. New Orleans at Chicago.
New Orleans.
Bears. Baltimore at Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah, they're going up to Seattle. Philly at Dallas.
I'm picking Dallas.
I'm picking Philly. Patriots, Jets.
You gotta ask.
Yeah, I don't know why we ask Patriots questions, but
yeah, I passed. I guess you feel better.
Yeah, and that's it. High school football. Lynn English lost a close one to Gloucester. I mean, not Gloucester, to Revere. Overtime, they got stopped at the 1 yard line, and overtime on a 2-point conversion. It was a crazy sequence that got them to convert that 2-point conversion. But hey, there's a lot of football left to be played. There's not really any top 25 games that are interesting in college football. So on that note, we are out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. Remember, fellas, reclaim your hoodies, protect your hoodies, reclaim your hoodies. Ladies, give us back our hoodies if you have them. Happy belated birthday to his dad. Yeah, that's it. I don't know what else we got to say. I'm probably missing some stuff, but I don't know what else to say. We out of here.